Alright, I'm back for a technical review of a lot of these momentum and meme stocks have been pretty hot lately. I got a long list of stocks here, but I'm going to start out with, I had a few special requests, and I'll start out with those. The first one is the ticker's ATOS. It's a drug company. It's had a pretty good rebound from the bottom here. We made it up to the cloud. We were trending along the Keystone Line, which indicates upward momentum here, and then we had a pretty big red candle and came below it. And another thing to look at is this red line here. This is a Keystone Line, and we want to see price stay above that for upward momentum. And for longer term trends, you want to see price stay above the cloud. So I look at these flat areas of the cloud for the best levels of support. This indicates uptrending support, and this cloud is very steep. So when you see a cloud that's really steep like this, it really doesn't provide good support. We're starting to get a flat area of the cloud right here. So this could be considered a support area as price gets over here. You want to see it hold in the flat area of the cloud, especially at the bottom of the cloud. So one of the things that concerns me about looking at the momentum in this stock is, well, this kind of looks like a reversal signal. We had kind of a climax top, and then we had a shooting star candle here, followed by a larger bearish candle, and now we're price is closed below this Keystone Line here. I like to see price stay on top of that for upward momentum. So I think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback here. Once price falls below this Keystone Line, it tends to act as resistance. As we look at the history of the chart here, and then, of course, if we get a moving average cross like we did right here, that's an indication of some bearish momentum. I also like to look at longer term, like let's look at 3 years. So you can see we had a climax top back here, and we're pretty much back at that same level, this about close to $7 level here. So I kind of feel like this is a top for right now. I really don't know about the fundamentals. I'm just looking at the technicals here for this stock. So I'd be hesitant about taking a new position here. If you manage to get in here, been holding it for a long time, I think this is a signal to take profit, especially looking at the history of the chart in that previous top. So let's go to next one is SENS. Okay, we've had a big gap up here. We pretty much matched the previous top here, where we got rejected, and now we've seen a rebound. This is a 200 moving average, so we pulled back near the 200 moving average, and something changed with these momentum stocks here a couple weeks ago, where all of a sudden they started getting a boost, and excuse me, this thing has had some tremendous upward momentum. I tend to be pretty conservative with these type of stocks. They're very high risk, but high risk can have high rewards, and it can also carry heavy losses. So starting a new position here, I think, is not a wise thing to do. I see sort of a shooting star candle here. Quite often on Fridays, the market's more cautious and wants to take some risk off over the weekend. I'd like to see a pullback. We're getting way ahead of our moving average lines, and they're moving straight up, which indicates when price comes down to test them for support, it's just not going to be there. It's too steep. This flat area of the cloud right down here could act as good support if price decides to come down and settle into a more sustainable uptrend. This thing is moving really fast, so then we have the previous top to deal with here at about 545. So right now it's still bullish. It's very bullish, but I just think it's way overextended. We're up over 100% since we made our U-turn here near the bottom. Next one is Xpev. Very bullish move here. We're holding this Tinkinson line. Price is staying above the Tinkinson line. If you're in it, if you're already in it, I don't see any reason to. I don't see any red flags right now, but like I said, from a more cautious standpoint, I think it's just a little late to be jumping on these now. I would wait for a pullback. So this is an area of resistance here. See how we get the flat area of the top of the cloud here, which lines up with our price action over in here. So this is sort of an area of resistance to watch, and price is just almost there at about 42.80, 42.75. Let's call it $44. Actually, $43. So for confirmation of an uptrend, we want to see our moving averages and our Keystone line here, Tinkinson line, and cloud all beginning to show signs of uptrend, which for the most part they're doing. It's just our longer moving averages take longer to respond. Our 200 moving average is flattening out, beginning to curve up a little bit. Or that's a 50. Let's see, this is a 50. This is a 100. I don't think I have a 200 moving average on here. Let's see. Okay, it's dark blue. It's not showing up here. Probably because I don't have enough chart history. That's what it is. There's not enough chart history for the 200 moving average to show up. Okay, so this is looking bullish. It'd just be, I think you're chasing momentum to get in here. CPNG, it's a fairly recent IPO. Looks like not much chart information, so let's go down to the 4-hour time frame here. So these are all daily charts we've been looking at. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, I've drawn I didn't draw that. Let's get rid of that. I've drawn a downtrending line. I'm seeing this has basically been in a downtrend here. So I would look for a break of this line, and also we're just trying to get above the cloud here. The cloud is twisted and turned green, but it's still trending down, which is an indication of caution to me. Another thing we look at for buy opportunities is what's called the lagging line, and it basically mimics the chart pattern, but it lags behind. It lags behind a ways. I don't know how many time frames behind, but anyway, where this line ends, we want to look at where this line ends, and we like it to be above the price, and it's not right here. Mainly because we've had this pullback. See, back here it was above the price, and but it looks like we've reacted to the top of the cloud here. We've come down. This flat area of the cloud here, to me, needs to act as support, or this thing is definitely in a downtrend. So I need to see this act as support and price begin to get on top of this green cloud here. Um, if you like to take a risk, you could open a trade right here and look at this current level where price is sitting to hold. So it gives you a pretty narrow stop loss. I don't want to see price back down below this cloud. But right now we're below this Keystone line here, which is a red flag. This acts as resistance. We did start to get an uptrending Keystone line, but now we've had this TK cross. This is Keystone line, and they've crossed. This is an indication of bearish shorter term trend. So that's the 4-hour chart. Let's see. Neo. Let's find Neo here. Sort them alphabetically. There we go. Neo has seen a nice strong move. Let's look at some chart history to see. So I had this support area I was watching, and we dipped down below it a bit, but this area here does seem to be acting as support, this sort of a zone here. Let's call it a $30 to $35 range has been acting as support here. We've already come up to $45, so that's about a 40% gain from that area. Good momentum. Let's see, we have some resistance here. So like I said, the flat areas of our cloud can indicate areas of resistance. Difficult areas. It's not necessarily a pinpoint area, it's kind of a zone. So we're looking at, I'm seeing a previous top here. We've already beat this previous top here. So let's take a look at this. I see a lot of price action over here. So this is kind of price action resistance right here. And that's right where we're at right now. I think these things have seen a pretty big move. I think they're a little overextended right now. I'd look for a pullback. And I mean, to get into these for me, with my cautious stance, I look for a pullback down here to the cloud, and then I look for it to hold the cloud so I can try to minimize my downside risk. Because if you open a position right here, then what's your stop loss? What's the basis for your trade other than it's leaving without you? If we can get above this resistance here, this could act as support. This flat area of the cloud here. Let's see where our lagging line is here. This green line is kind of hard to see. It ends right here, so lagging line is above price, but it's still below, still inside the red cloud here. So yeah, I just see a lot of red flags and caution with these right now. All right, let's look at some of the top volume meme stocks here. Of course, we got AMC, very popular. So this actually still has some uptrending support here. Looking at the Keystone line right here in red, this thin red line right here, we want to see that act as support if the uptrend is going to continue. So I'm kind of seeing like a bull flag formation here, and we're staying above that Keystone line right there, which lines up with the flat area at the bottom of the cloud right here. Now, like I said about an uptrending cloud that's very steep and thin offers no support. So if we break below this and we're going to come down to test this cloud, it's going to pass through it like it wasn't even there. That cloud does not offer any support. Our best support is where it's starting to, it has this flat bottom and it's starting to thicken out right here. So this is the area we want to watch. Let's see what it comes in at, about $40. 40.86 to be precise right there, but it's kind of a range. So when we want to look at the daily candle close, because we might get a wick that comes down below this, but we want to see the price, the daily candle close price, stay above that. Quite often I look for confirmation, so if I see the full body of a red candle below that, that is definitely a bearish sign. I think you're going to see a big escalation in selling pressure if we get that. SNDL, sundial. This thing has seen a big push up. Technically, it's still in a downtrend because we haven't made a higher high yet. Well, we did from right here, but this wasn't really a high. This was still a downtrend here. So this, we'll call this a high, and here. So here's our flat area at the bottom of the cloud here that I like to look at for uptrending support. And it looks like we've closed just right, pretty much at it or slightly below it. And also looking at the Keystone line here, like I said, we need to stay above that. And we did close below it on Friday. So on Monday, I'd want to see a move. I want to see a move on Monday back above this line here. Otherwise, I get the feeling we're going to trend along the bottom of this cloud. I like to look for longer term confirmation of a bottom, like maybe we'll come down and bounce at this area here rather than the low, and see sort of a V shape or W shape bottom here. So we're still inside the red cloud, so this is actually, we don't quite have a confirmed uptrend yet. I like to give these things time. I'm very skeptical about this kind of momentum. It's dangerous. BB, Blackberry. Here's our Keystone line right here. We're looking to stay above this, which we are struggling to do, but we did close above it on Friday. We have our flat area at the bottom of the cloud here, which lines up with Keystone. So this is our area to watch here at about 1390. Yeah, I'll call it 1390. So we want to watch the daily candle close to stay above this Keystone line here. This is sort of a bull flag here. So we're looking for that to continue. Our moving averages are turning up. But we do have some pretty straight up momentum here. So this is, price needs to consolidate and take a rest before it can move higher, I think, which seems to be what it's doing here. CLOV, this thing saw a huge pop. This is a big bearish candle here, followed by another bearish candle, and we've fallen below the Keystone line, fallen below the flat area of the cloud that was trying to form here. No telling where this thing could go. Let's see if we have some, excuse me. So there's some price action support in this area right here. And that's kind of where we are now. So I kind of want to see it to respond to this area, this $14 area, I think. Between $13 and $14 area. I think this thing has just moved up too much, too fast. So technicals get a little difficult to read with that kind of momentum. It's just really a gamble. So looking at the 4-hour chart, we've broken our uptrending momentum here. So this isn't looking too good to me. I'm not messing with it. Neo. So I had the support areas watching down here. Let's see, we already looked at that. Let's go to PLTR. So I had this downtrending line I'd drawn here. Sometimes lines need to be redrawn, but this is a line that I drew, and we seem to have broken that. But we're still below our downtrending red cloud. We've got a lot of little flat areas of the cloud which indicate resistance or support if we can get above them. Our best level of support is right here, this flat bottom, or this flat area at the top here. So sort of this zone here, this 2230 to 2130 area. Right now we're staying above the Tinkinson line, so we do have some good uptrending momentum here. It's quite possible this could continue. A lot of times people trade with fear and greed, of course. There's money involved, fear of missing out, and seeing big dollar signs of where price has been, and wanting to chase these things. But this hasn't gotten too far ahead of its skis yet, I don't think. So I definitely like to see these areas of support hold. These are the kind of areas I like to base a trade. If I see a pullback, a good opportunity in a tight range, I can base as use the basis for my trade, so I can set a stop loss or just evaluate on a daily basis to see if it's holding. To tell you the truth, I really don't set stop losses. I wait for the daily candle close, and I look for it to hold my area of support that I base my trade on. And Nokia, this thing's got some uptrending momentum here. Seem to be holding the Tinkinson line, staying above the Keystone line here. We've got an uptrending green cloud that may actually provide some support because it's not all crazy steep like this one here was. A straight up cloud like that really doesn't provide any support. This is going to be a strong area of resistance, this flat top of the cloud here. We've got a big long candle wick right here. So we're looking at about 675, and we're at 543 now. So that's about another 50% upside if we're going to get there. It could. So looking at a long-term trend of this chart, I just think this is high risk. This thing's been in a downtrend for quite a while here. I don't know where that line came from. Is it possible to get back up to these highs? I don't know. I just see a lot of risk. This is all, excuse me, all this previous price action here is all going to be areas of resistance, especially this top right here. We've got areas of resistance back here if the market is actually going to look back that far, but so it can be quite a struggle for this thing to reach previous highs or form a good new uptrend here. ZOM, another one that's been trying to rebound, but we still have a lot of downtrending technicals here. We have a really thick red cloud right here. We have had a TK cross, so this is considered bullish. We're could be forming a little bit of a bull flag here, but basically this thing is still in a bear market because it's a downtrend. So I don't really consider this a valid bull flag because we're still below the cloud here. Overall, the chart is still bearish. I think This was just a way oversold reaction here. Came up, tested the resistance of our downtrending Keystone line here. Went back, made a new bottom. Coming back up here, we didn't make a new high. So I think this one has a lot of wood to chew, I think, and I think it's high risk, but it does look like it's trying to hold the 200 moving average here. But also it looks like we're going to get a moving average cross, the 50 crossing the 200 moving average. And right now price is trending below this 50 moving average. It's acting as resistance because it's a downtrending moving average. And we also have our downtrending cloud here. So I see a lot of risk in these. I like to watch them. I may trade some of them, but I'm not just going to buy and hold these things. In my opinion, there's too much risk. The momentum is very appealing to retail traders. So plug power, we're trending along the Keystone line here. Looks like we're starting to close below it, indicating a little bit of loss of momentum. Our Keystone's way down here, so I like to see price stay above the Keystone now, definitely. We did have a moving average cross here, the 50 crossed the 100 and crossed the 200. So this thing has definitely been in a bear market. We're starting to get a bullish twist to the cloud here, so this is our area of uptrending support to watch now, between about $28 and $30 or so. So quite often I do a multiple time frame analysis, so the 4-hour chart will get you in and out of trades sooner. So we saw a TK cross right here. There was a huge bullish reversal candle here. We got above the Keystone and we reacted to it here and stayed above it. We had our TK cross. We started to react to the cloud here, but we managed to defeat it, and now we're above the cloud, staying above the Keystone. So if you want to get into some of these high momentum trades, I like to come down to the 4-hour chart and look to stay above the Keystone and keep a bullish perspective of the Keystone line staying above the Keystone line. So see right here, we had a failed breakout. We had a TK cross going up, and then price started closing below Keystone, stayed below Keystone, then we had a TK cross here, and another big move down. SPCE, this thing is seeing a big rally. I put on a trade for this. I've already taken my profits. Could keep going. We're staying above the Keystone line here. Keystone is starting to flatten out right here, and we're reacting to the top of the cloud, indicating momentum is starting to stall. Let's do a couple more and then I'm going to wrap up here. Coming up on 30 minutes. So Tilray, we're still inside the cloud on the daily chart. Starting to lose some momentum here. Keystone flattening out. And we've closed right on that Keystone line. Here's our bullish twist. It's very small. So this is our area of uptrending support we want to watch right now, between about 1880 and 19. Let's say between $18 and $19 here. So I'd be watching this Keystone line right here and look for prices stay above that. Flat area of the cloud here is resistance. We can look at previous price action for support and resistance. We made it above this one here, so this could be a support area. We're right on it right now. This support area is pretty close to our Tenkin-sen, Kijun-sen, and bullish twist over here. Then we have more price action that could offer resistance over in here. So really what we want to watch is this previous low right here, and we want to watch for possibly another low, but not lower than this. So we don't want to see a new low. We want to see a higher low. So we want to keep seeing higher lows. It's going to be a while before we see higher highs, because this thing really put in a big top right here. So look at Tesla. Tesla's been in a downtrend. We're trending below our Kijun-sen line here. Looks like we're trying to get above it. We're kind of trapped between the Tenkin-sen and Kijun-sen. Another push up, we could see a TK cross going up. Then of course we'll have our flat area of the cloud here to deal with at about 660. Basically right now we're in a downtrend. Looks like we're trying to hold the 200 moving average. We are at risk of getting some moving average crosses here. 50 cross below the 100 up here, and approaching the 200 here. It is starting to level out a bit. We still have an uptrending 200 moving average though, so that is one bullish note about the chart. It's trying to curve and trying to roll over a bit, but so it's hard to say which way this is going to go. It just has some wood to chew before it can definitely be in a sustainable uptrend. Just like a lot of these other ones. BNGO. Nice momentum off the bottom here. TK cross, entered the cloud. Now we're reacting to our downtrending cloud here, it looks like. Like I said with all the others, we want to see price stay above this newly forming bullish twist right here. Okay, it's about 710 and 665. Workhorse, this thing's been popping here. We're starting to get some long wicks at the top of our candles here, reacting to some downtrending moving averages and the wall of this red cloud, which is pretty steep here. And here's our support area right down in here, 1275 to 1340 or so. So I like the idea right now of just giving these a little bit more time and look for these areas to hold here. I kind of like to see a pullback here, and then I would base my trade on this new uptrending cloud, and so I could try to limit my keep my downside risk in control with these things. Fuel cell. This is losing momentum, it looks like. So looking at a wide variety of these gives you kind of an idea of where the market may be heading with these. So fuel cell here, we've fallen below our Tenkin-sen line, and now we're back below the cloud. We're trying to find our support from this our Kijun-sen right here. So we want to look for that to hold. This is a resistance area here, this flat area of the cloud. Another one right here, which we did react to. This is our next one. We don't have a bullish twist yet. This thing has been in quite a downtrend. Excuse me. This was one of my favorite ones to short for a while here based on this downtrending line, but when we reach extreme oversold lows and start to get it sort of a reversal signal and get back on top of Tinkinson is where I take my profit. So I'm out of these right now. I'm not shorting anything right now. So this is showing a loss of momentum, but it could find a new uptrend. Look for it to stay above the Keystone Line here. $9.50. IDEX. Well, we made it above the cloud, but then we came right back down. So a lot of times these things will kind of trend along this cloud until maybe we get over in here and we fail to make a new low. We have sort of a double bottom with this one. Oh, this is when I drew a long-term, sort of this rising channel I saw forming here. And we kind of came near the bottom of that channel, so that's sort of a positive for this one. Alright, well, there's more, but I'm going to cut it off for now. So I hope you get a general idea of how to analyze these things. If you can put the Ichimoku indicator on a chart. TradingView.com has good charts. If you don't have a platform that offers it, you can use that. So anyway, good luck with these trades, and I'll check back in a few days or a week or so here.